Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there.
I think the biggest thing about supporting Soul, the entrepreneur, is to have grace with yourself, to recognize where things are maybe not going well, to recognize where you're not supporting yourself. Welcome to the Earn Your Happy podcast. I'm Lori Harder, founder of Light Pink, best-selling author, 3-time fitness world champion, and I'm a crazy, multi-passionate entrepreneur. My journey has taken me everywhere, from being a broke waitress, barista, retail associate, and personal trainer with massive anxiety and no belief in myself, to later becoming a multi-millionaire in love with my life. In 2007, my husband and I lost everything. We found ourselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt at rock bottom. We had no ideas and I had no education to fall back on. This is when I found personal development and learned everything I could about business. Not by choice, but because I realized no one was coming to save me. The conversations on this podcast are going to let you know that you're not alone and that we all feel like we don't know what we're doing. We're going to give you the tools to help you face your fears, take action, start your business, and grow those massive dreams that are keeping you up at night. It's time to create a life that you can't hide from and put so much on the line that your higher self is forced to come out. You're going to stop waiting for someone to approve of you and you're going to anoint yourself. Because I'm obsessed about building businesses that give women a platform, I want to feature you. So if you text the word podcast to 310-496-8363, you can get your questions answered on our Q&A segment along with a shout out. And if you rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, we're choosing someone every month to get coached and featured on our show. It just might be you. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit an inspiration. And I am here to ask you the question, do you have a running to-do list? Oh my God. I feel like mine is actually running away from me and it's out of control. But there's a few things that I have been doing that are really helping me to dial it in and know what really needs to get done during the week. So for a lot of you, we're probably facing some new things because I know many of you are go-getters. You want to do big things. You have really big goals in your life. And I'm so freaking proud of you because a life of purpose is a life worth living. I love that phrase. Purpose is the opposite of depression. And I've actually been really looking at my life lately and making sure that I'm focusing on purpose because I have been through some rough mental seasons lately. And I believe it's just because I'm so challenged. And also I'm not doing my best to support the soul of the entrepreneur, meaning that I could do better as far as what I actually need to feel content, supported, and happy. And we can't get those things from other people until we figure out how to get them from ourselves. And while this podcast is about learning about what we can do with our to-do list, I also just want to take a second to really check in with your soul. I feel like my soul right now is really asking your soul, how are you? And even though you're going after the things that you want and you have these big goals written down, are you truly doing the things that make you feel like a supported human with purpose out in the world? And for me, I know that I need to do some more things like schedule time with friends where I really drop in and ask deeper questions to feel connected. Because for me, it's not big groups that fuel me. It's small groups with really deep, intimate conversation. And I'm finding that I need that supportive place on a weekly basis. So it's not about, oh my gosh, I already have this. This is like such an easy thing. All I have to do is schedule it. I have to figure out who I want those people to be. I have to figure out how to make sure I'm going to get that support and schedule that in on a weekly basis. So that takes a little bit of time, right? Because sometimes we don't have those people already in our life, or sometimes maybe we just want one person. Sometimes maybe that person can't always be that person for you or come through because they're busy. So really looking at how can I make sure this is scheduled in on a weekly basis with these people to really be able to drop in. And for me, it's also going to classes. I haven't been going to workout classes lately, and I've been noticing this in my soul. I really like the feeling of community and support during my workouts. I've definitely have 2 workout buddies, one I run with, one I go to the gym with, and that's absolutely amazing. But I would like one more that I also make sure I'm getting to classes regularly. So what else does support of the actual soul of the entrepreneur look like? For me, it's also making sure that I'm reading good books and I'm honing in on good podcasts, that I'm really making sure that I'm listening to podcasts. And for me, I am such a creative that when I'm not doing something creative or with my body or enjoying moving physically, I don't feel great. And you're probably like, what are you talking about? You literally just talked about working out and, all these different things that you have. That sounds like a freak ton of support, right? Okay. I also feel like I want to be learning something physically. For me, I've always been a physical person. I learn through motion in my body, not just learning the thing, such as dance class, but I actually learn about the world through my body. And maybe a light bulb just went off for you guys. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I literally have always learned through my body as well, right? I'm that person that never learned sitting at a desk. I did terrible in school, but put me out in nature and I feel like I get all of these different downloads and I can understand the world more clearly. So for me, that really does mean making sure I'm out in nature and making sure maybe I'm taking a dance class, making sure maybe I'm taking a pottery class, something where I'm working with my hands, moving my body. And surfing was really huge for me. When I surfed when I lived in LA, I didn't do it that often, but when I would do it, I would learn so much about the world. What does that look like? You're like, how do you learn about the world through surfing? Well, one of the stories that I talk about a lot is when I was out surfing with my surf instructor. he noticed that I was always trying to catch every single wave. And I had this moment where I was paddling and I was exhausted and trying to catch so many of these waves coming because I was like, wait, they're all good. I want to catch them all. I want to make sure that I get up. The more waves I try to catch, the more likely I am to get up. And while, yes, that could be true, what you don't realize is that your energy is being drained from trying to do it all. And I really looked at this in my life, and there was a point where I was trying to do it all. I was trying to catch every opportunity. I was trying to catch every single thing that came my way. I was looking around at what other people were doing. And I thought, well, if I just do all of it, something's got to stick. Absolutely opposite was happening for me. I was exhausted. I was not being my best. I was becoming a master of nothing because I was trying to do everything. And it was just a moment for me while I was surfing that I was like, stop it. Stop trying to do it all. Wait for that right wave or that one that feels really good, and just do your best at getting up and riding that all the way to the shore. Stop focusing so much on being in a hurry to catch the next thing or the next best thing. And obviously, this is going to go in seasons of your life. There was a time where I do believe that you have to learn that. You have to try to catch all the waves in order to understand which one is right for you. So moving on to really asking yourself, how do you support the soul of you, of the entrepreneur? What is needed? And I just threw out 10 different things for myself. And I'm going to choose one this week to work on. I'm going to choose one this week to work on because we can't do it all at once. And I think the biggest thing about supporting the soul, the entrepreneur, is to have grace with yourself, to recognize where things are maybe not going well, to recognize where you're not supporting yourself and say, okay, I love you. You're doing the best that you can. I'm so proud of you. Now, how can we make sure that you feel better? Now, how can we make sure that you do something that elicits joy every single week? Because without that, you guys, what the hell are we doing? For real, what the hell are we doing? And to really reframe that this is such an opportunity that we get to focus on how we want to have purpose, right? We get to choose what our purpose is. We get to choose how we show up in the world and give back. And instead of looking at it like this big daunting thing, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Life is so hard. We get to really choose how we participate in this world and how we look at it. And yeah, it's not going to go right. It's not going to go the way that you want. It's going to be hard, but that is the journey of life, right? We get to get stronger from the things that are challenging. Without those, we don't get to experience what it's like to grow that muscle. So let's talk about your to-do list quick. Now, when you think of your to-do list, I actually want you to start thinking of your later list, because now that I have my to-do list and I've had it forever, right? I'm so attached to my list. I'm attached to notebooks. I don't know about you guys, but I literally always have a notebook in my life. It's like something I love to carry around because I like to write it through my hands to pen and paper, put my thoughts to pen and paper. I can just dump it all out. But what I've started doing is having a later list. And I was just talking to Ashley Alderson, who started something called the Boutique Hub. I'm actually going to go speak at her boutique summit in a month. I'm very excited about it. And it's for people who have boutiques or want to start boutiques, and helps them grow and scale, whether it's a boutique in person, a brick and mortar, or a boutique online. You guys go check it out. But she was talking about her later list. And I realized how important my later list is, because if we're being real with ourselves, the most important thing that you do is looking at your week on Sunday night or Monday morning and saying, what are the top 2 to 3 needle moving things for my business that I can do this week that are the most important? And put those on your to-do list every single day until they get done. And honestly, everything else needs to go on your later list. It needs to be on a list that you're not even going to look at until next week, and then reassess again what needs to go on your now list, right? Those top 3 things on your now list. And then all of the other things go on your later list again. Now, some of you are like, oh my God, what if I forget what's on my later list? You won't, because you're going to look on Monday or Sunday night and you're going to say, what are the top 3 things that I need to do this week that are needle moving things for the business, meaning it's going to progress forward, it's going to scale your business, or it's going to bring more money into your business? And what is everything else that can wait? That if that fire is burning, you can let it burn. And I talk about this a lot because being an entrepreneur is just getting really good at knowing there's always going to be fires burning. Now, It's the difference between telling if it's a small contained brush fire or if it's going to be something that's going to rage later on, right? It's going to spread. It's going to get out of control. And for me, when I actually look at my to-do list, what happens is we normally want to start with the ones that are not that hard. And sometimes that can be a great method, to be honest, but not that often. So with that said, you really need to do the hard things first. You need to get those things in there on Monday or Tuesday morning. You need to make sure that you're not doing all of the little piddly things that are going to drain your energy. And then the most important things get put off, right? That's busy work. It's what a lot of people do. It's what majority of people in business and careers and in entrepreneurship do. It feels good. It's a dopamine hit to do the easy little piddly things that don't actually bring in money and move your business. So if we really look at it like that, like what are the top 2 to 3 things I need to do this week and put everything else on the later list? I care more about your later list than I do about your to-do list, meaning I hope that you have a long later list and that your to-do list is very, very short, 2 to 3 things per week. Can you imagine what would happen in your business if you marked off those 2 to 3 most important things every single week? I will tell you what will happen. You will grow. It will be the most incredible thing that you've experienced because you will know that your time and energy is going to the things that actually make a big difference. These are the most challenging things, but these are the things that are going to move the needle the most. So you guys, I'm sending you so much love. I'd love to hear if this was of value. I'd love to hear if you're going to implement this. It's always so much fun to see who's actually listening to the podcast. You guys, I hope that you have the most amazing day. Support the soul of the entrepreneur and make sure that your later list is growing and you're keeping your to-do list small. All right, until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone.
Hey all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys, make sure that you go subscribe to the show Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it.
Hey, I know if you're listening to this podcast that you have big dreams and big goals. And one of the things that can really stop you is struggling with your marketing. Trust me, I have been there. Are you using 10 different systems just to build your online business? Then I want you to try Kajabi. Kajabi helps you build your web pages, set up funnels, and sell your courses, content, coaching, or communities. You've been hearing me talk a lot about funnels on this podcast and the importance of your email list. You can get a free trial at kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com. I've talked about Kajabi before, but here's something that's super cool and new. They just rolled out an AI assistant for creating your online course curriculum. And this means you just type in a topic that you want to create on a course or webinar and bam, it just generates a sample outline for you. It takes a ton of the hard work away. Of course, you're going to customize it to be your own, but this really helps you get over the struggle of how in the world to start, which is where most people stop. If you're like me, starting is always the hardest part, and that's what makes Kajabi so popular. They've made it easier for creators to build web pages, build courses, build coaching programs, build membership sites, build checkout pages, and build email funnels. So if you're struggling with any of those, you got to go check it out. Go to kajabi.com Kajabi.com. Kajabi was really the first all-in-one system and is trusted by over 100,000 creators. I think that's good enough for me. Also has influencers and marketers who use this. And now their smart AI platform makes it easy to take what you know and turn it into an online course and business. Go start building with a free trial at Kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com.
Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently, and most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori.